This is a press release from justice.gov. U.S. government employee arrested for attempting to provide classified information to foreign government. An IT specialist employed by the Defense Intelligence Agency was arrested today for attempting to transmit national defense information to an officer or agent of a foreign government. Nathan Villas Lash, 28, of Alexandria, Virginia, was arrested today in Northern Virginia and will make his initial court appearance in the Eastern District of Virginia tomorrow. According to court documents, Lash became a civilian employee of the DIA in 2019, where he works with the Insider Threat Division and holds top security clearance. In March of 25, the FBI commenced an operation after receiving a tip that an individual now known to be Lash offered to provide classified information to a friendly foreign government. In that email, the sender wrote that he did not agree or align with the values of this administration and was therefore willing to share classified information that he had access to, including completed intelligence products, some unprocessed intelligence, and other assorted classified documentation. They're going to mention that they implemented an operation at a public park in Northern Virginia where Lash believed he would deposit the classified information for the foreign government to retrieve. On or about May 1st, FBI surveillance observed Lash proceed to the specified location and deposit an item. Following his departure, the FBI retrieved the item, which was a thumb drive later found to contain messages from Lash and multiple typed documents, each containing information that was portion marked up to the secret or top secret levels. The message from Lash indicated that he had chosen to include a decent sample size of classified information to decently demonstrate the range of types of products to which he had access. This is sedition, and this is where it's getting particularly worrisome. Now, we have some information. This is posted by Nick Sorter saying that this is the man. I don't know for sure if this is the image of the guy or not, but this is what Nick Sorter has posted. He blatantly told these forwarders he doesn't, quote, agree or align with the values of this administration. Okay. Where are we nationally? What is this when you have hyperpolarization to the degree where holdover intelligence employees are intentionally giving away American secrets to hurt the Trump administration? Is this just standard old sedition that happens? Is it something more?
So I think that there's, if I understand correctly, there are attempts to spy on friendly countries from friendly countries all the time. It's very normal. This kind of stuff, though, someone, an actual asset leaking top secret and secret information to a foreign government, even if it is a friendly government, that's exceedingly rare, if I understand correctly. Not like I'm some kind of insider that has, inside knowledge, but all the stuff that I've heard, this is fairly unprecedented. It's not very often.
He was seeking citizenship in this country, which they're claiming was friendly. And the FBI ran this sting operation for about a month. He was transcribing pages of classified information and transmitting it. Then they had a prearranged location to meet. And I guess they ended up arresting this guy. They say a criminal complaint is merely an allegation.
What should the punishment be for someone who does that? Like, just losing their job? Is that all that happened to this guy?
No, it's sedition.
No,
death.
jail.
No, that's treason. This is sedition.
Well, no, but I would say, no, he said the punishment. I would say.
Like, what should it be?
I would say, he said should. I go death. I mean, honestly, we should not. This is real sedition. Remember J6, they were trying to try people for sedition. But actually doing something that undermines the United States would be a great precursor if we could get tougher on this to maybe getting accountability for COVID. Because when people make decisions to either withhold, give information, manipulate information that itself leads to the suffering or death of Americans or violates our rights or undermines the core tenets of our society, the punishments need to be stricter, because right now, Trump said he was going to come in with Patel. They were going to clean house. There would be arrests. We were going to actually, dissolve entire departments in the FBI, in the intelligence agencies. And as of now, we have what? A potential 480p video of Epstein coming out? We don't have what they promised.
The issue is the lack of any kind of enforcement at all.
We need arrests, at least.
Right. So the issue is treason. The penalty is like 10 years in prison or death is the range. Sedition, I think, is like up to 10 years in prison or something.
But do you think I'm saying, would they even do the death penalty? That's my whole point of it should be something, but would they even actually kill someone over it?
So
they would not.
I don't think so either.
But let's clarify.
The administration.
Treason is adhering or providing aid to an active enemy in a time of war or conflict. Sedition is what this guy did in actively trying to subvert or damage the government internally. This is the difference. The issue I'm seeing with all of it is you have Democrats that have broken the law, and we don't even arrest them. Case in point, When Kash Patel, he releases these documents to the GOP, and then just the other day, Grassley releases them declassified, and it turns out that Nellie Orr, wife of Bruce Orr, heavily involved in the Russiagate hoax, was found by the FBI to have lied to Congress and appears to have committed multiple felonies. They said she outright did. No prosecution under Bill Barr. They don't even give them a slap on the wrist. They don't even give them a $50 ticket. Come on. They've arrested. So I will say this. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have talked about how they found new documents. They've released these things. It appears like Comey's FBI was trying to hide this stuff. This guy was clearly anti-Trump and still is. This arrest is just the beginning. They're releasing these documents on Nellie Orr, hopefully just the beginning, and we begin to see arrests and legitimate criminal indictments and prison time.
But do you legitimately think that's going to happen?
Well, I would say there's a decent probability right now, based on the fact that they literally announced they arrested an intelligence officer who was leaking information or trying to, and they published documents implicating Nellie Orr. So this is a great start a few months in to Kash and Dan's tenure at the FBI. I'm not going to sit here and claim I feel with 100% confidence they're going to do it. I'm skeptical. But so far, indications are good. After 2.5 months or whatever, how long has Kash and Dan been in? We're seeing the release of documents. Did you see what Kash Patel said to, who was it, Brett Baer? Comey is responsible for the largest criminal conspiracy in this country. You can't just say that as the head of the FBI. That's a bold statement. Kash, I think he's out for some real retribution and accountability. I hope he gets it. I hope we get it.
So this is technically espionage, and because by the definition, and the punishment for espionage is death or imprisonment for any term of years or for life.
Let's go.
So
but hold on.
And Donald Trump did reinstate the death penalty federally.
Oh,
The federal death penalty had been.
Is he gonna die?
I can't see the future, but it's possible. Like if he's found, guilty and
Back to that. Like,
So, no, hold on.
I can see the future. It'd be super cool if I could see the future.
I don't believe you're correct.
I don't know.
I don't believe you're correct in the literal codified
You don't think
criminal penalties of what espionage is. I'm pretty sure this is going to require adherence to an enemy in a time of war.
for espionage?
Yeah.
No, that for treason and for sedition. Treason is to help an enemy in a time of war. Sedition is to try to overthrow the government. But espionage is to, let's see, the punishment for espionage.
Not the punishment.
Under 18 U.S.C. Chapter 37, anyone who communicates, delivers, or transmits information related to the national defense to a foreign entity can be punished by death or imprisonment for any term of years or for life. So I'm not exactly sure the products that he was.
How is that not espionage? I'm confused.
So
that's-
say first, under the Espionage Act, it has to be national defense information, which is a question we have about what this guy's being charged with. This is important. Let me check to see if they're announcing what the charge is. Just classified documents to a foreign country. They don't mention whether it's national security information, but I think you can argue that all classified information would be national security information. That's what's classified. So it is gathering or delivering defense information to aid foreign governments. 18 U.S. Code, Chapter 37, Espionage and Censorship. Very interesting. Whoever with intent or reason to believe that it is to be used to the injury of the United States or to the advantage of a foreign nation communicates, delivers, or transmits, or attempts to communicate, deliver, or transmit to any foreign government or to any faction or party or military or naval force of a foreign country, whether recognized or unrecognized by the U.S., or to any representative, officer, agent, employee, subject, or citizen thereof, either directly or indirectly, any document, writing, code, book, signal book, sketch, photograph, photographic native, blueprint, plan, map, model, note, instrument, appliance, or information relating to the national defense shall be punished by death or by imprisonment for any term or of years or for life, except that the sentence of death shall not be imposed unless the jury, or if there is no jury, the court, further finds that the offense resulted in the identification by a foreign power. Let's see. There's a parentheses. Okay. As defined in Section 010A of the Foreign Intelligence Act, it says, okay, let me try that again. Further finds the offense resulted in the identification by a foreign power of an individual acting as an agent of the United States and consequently in the death of that individual, or directly concerned nuclear weaponry, military spacecraft or satellites, early warning system, or other means of defense or retaliation against large-scale attacks, war plans, communications, intelligence, or cryptographic information, or any other major weapon system or major element of defense strategy. So the reason why I said, I'm going to split the baby on this one. You were correct largely in the general. This is espionage. You were right. But the reason why I thought that was not correct is because the death penalty is almost exclusive, like entirely in law when you aid and abet a foreign adversary. So the fact that it says whether you're giving away nuclear war plans, means of early warning systems, or giving information related to an agent of America who dies, these are very extreme and specific cases where someone will get the death penalty.
Yeah.
So this doesn't appear to be that.
No, they have. Well, they have the option of the imprisonment for any term of years or for life. So it's not necessarily that they're going to seek the death penalty. It's an option. It is a capital offense.
And
but
they may make the argument depending on what this information is.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the question.
Yeah, but my question is this. Okay, you see Trump being stonewalled by these liberal judges all across the country with every move he makes, right? Even Elon Musk resigns from government work because his Doge cuts wouldn't be codified.
His time was up
right?
as well. He's only 130 days.
Okay, yeah. But I'm saying he left, let's just say, without having codifying his cuts into law because Republicans worked against him. In the end, the machine keeps winning. Okay, so we know Trump had a first term. He said he was going to drain the swamp. He didn't. He had his second term. You used to not be able to say that it was a rigged election. Now you can say maybe it was. Who cares? He lost. Whether it was fair or not, he lost. Now he has his third term. He wins. And he's here, and everything he's doing, he's sort of just being like stopped at every corner. You're seeing there's the deep state undermining in the FBI. When, and I say this to Trump, to Bongino, when are people going to realize playing nice with these guys, trying to, do the bare minimum is going to impact this country? If you don't make an example of some of these people, they raided your house, Trump. Like they went and raided your home over papers.
So
you gotta go extreme mode on these guys.
I agree
Just
with
arrest them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying put them in jail, find out what the maximum penalty is. Tell the public we are going to explore the harshest penalties under legal written word. And whatever that is, we are going to slam the law down and we're going to lay down the book. And you know what? Anybody else that's going to do this, we are going to come after you. And then we're going to, as Congress, try to rewrite some of our laws so that we can handle this treason in our government.
So I want to be legally careful. Treason is adhering to an enemy. Sedition is trying to overthrow and undermine the
But
government.
if we're able to rewrite some laws, redefine a little bit. Right now we have a corrupt government. We have to clean up the government.
My point is not that we shouldn't have harsh penalties. It's that treason is defined as adhering to an enemy in a time of war. And a lot of people say they're traitors, but traitors to who? It's a seditious conspiracy, which is it's as bad. It's just different, right?
So the
That's my
sedition
point.
should be met with death too. I'm saying my point is that these people are getting away with it because they can. Like that's the problem. It's like you've told them there's not a lot of penalties. It's the same thing that happens with these cashless bail laws or whatever that happens in New York or whatever. If you start letting criminals go, or in California, if you stop penalizing people for shoplifting increases. Unfortunately, criminals are going to be criminals. So when you tell real criminals in our government, you might go to jail for 5 years for undermining the government. It not only tells people that it's like, not a very serious crime, but why even spend time going after these people if you're in the government or trying to clean it up? They don't get punished.
I don't think the death penalty is a deterrent for these people.
Let's see them executed on live TV by the state and see if people start.
This is look, with all due respect, I think that's an emotional request that doesn't actually strike at the core of what's wrong with this country. They revel in their arrests. They revel in their punishment. Many of these people are nihilists who that's their path to immortality, martyrdom. They would seek that intentionally. I don't think that actually deals with the issue. There's actually a simple solution. We arrest them under existing codified law and put them away, and they can't run again. They're out of the system. They're no longer in politics. Case closed. If you give them a path towards martyrdom, many of these younger people, they intentionally seek out these circumstances. So you have to be careful about, I'll put it this way. Do you know why the deep state doesn't assassinate people anymore?
You don't think they assassinate people anymore?
Sometimes, but not as often as they used to.
Okay, why?
Because it immortalizes their ideology. And so they go for what the intelligence agencies try to do now is character assassination. Really great example is Julian Assange. What did they do to Julian Assange? Hillary Clinton said, "Can't we drone this guy?" They didn't. They accused him of rape, which was a lie. He wasn't even charged with it. And they ran stories throughout the press that he was a molester and rapist trying to destroy his legacy.
Who else do you think they're doing that to?
I don't know. I mean, they accused Trump of being a rapist.
Yeah,
they fabricated a fake case
What about
against
Andrew
him.
Tate? Do you think they're doing that to him, or do you think that's
Andrew Tate admitted to saying a lot of things that he said and doing a lot of things that he's done. Not that every claim they've made against him is true, but the dude was basically like a digital online, pimp, I guess?
Yeah, I mean that's not illegal though. I mean, like, Jack Doherty's also a legal pimp. You know what I mean? And I would like to see him locked up too for just being a little bitch.
The Andrew Tate thing is a sharp contrast from Donald Trump. Like Andrew Tate, who actually was, I guess, I don't know, was a digital pimp. Like he was running these women's social media accounts.
Yeah, but they're charging him with rape.
He was
So
all
that is
My
different.
point is, I literally don't care. Andrew Tate is meaningless. Donald Trump is the president, and they falsely accuse him of rape.
No, but we're having a conversation about the deep state using lawfare against people and sabotaging their reputation to come after them.
And what significance is Andrew Tate in terms of our existing
Well,
government structure?
he has political influence.
He's woken up young men. Like I would say young men feel emboldened to fight the gynocracy because of Andrew Tate clips on TikTok and on Snapchat and Instagram. And I think that you see the UK creating entire curriculum in their schools to try to fight the taterization, they called it, of their youth. Young men who are becoming misogynistic, they want to keep men docile, right? They fight against their testosterone levels. They don't want you realizing that the world wasn't always run by the vagina, right? They don't want you to know that. So with Tate, again, I do think this lawfare, and I don't want to talk about him too much, but I do think that's a clear sign of lawfare, meaning once again, maybe he did do some questionable things. Maybe there's even some gray areas where it's like, hey, maybe that was something, non-consensual. But they don't come after you, or they don't put the law down on you until they see you as a threat. So like, they all have skeletons in their
same with
closet.
Russell
and
Brand.
they only enforce the law when you come against their system.
Russell Brand is also another point, and
Conor McGregor.
The issue with Andrew Tate, in my opinion, is that this one's not as easy to point out as they're clearly lying, like Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Julian Assange running WikiLeaks, exposing the U.S. Apache helicopter blowing up journalists in the Middle East. How do we deal with this guy? Hillary Clinton said, "Can we drone him?" No, you can't. He's in London. So what do? They create some ludicrous story about him. Mm-hmm. I think the story was that he was with a woman, the condom broke. She wanted him to get an STD test, and so the media ran a story. He raped her, which is just never the case. If they actually tried to stop him from doing his job, they'd immortalize him and they'd create 10,000 new Julian Assanges. And they learned that throughout the history of the assassinations they took in the modern era. We'll just leave it at that. Today, look what they do to Trump. They did a little bit. I mean, I don't know who tried to kill Donald Trump the first time, but Dan Bongino saying there's no there, I don't find credible at all. But just to wrap it up, so we don't, because we do have to jump to the next story. My point is largely character assassination is the main play they take now because death is not a deterrent for people seeking immortality.
But isn't that what I'm just saying, isn't that what they do with anyone? Like even Nick Fuentes, I feel like I see a lot of people making a lot of really ludicrous claims about his character, or he's gay, or like that whole like Destiny, he sucked Destiny's dick thing or whatever, which
Destiny.
But that's false. And it's like that was all going on. I'm going,
sure?
what is the relevance of this? Like, and it's like, well, you just don't like what he's saying about women or about Israel. And so you're kind of like calling him gay, which is like a high school thing. It's like, oh, well, you're gay or whatever.
Because they're targeting young men.
Well, yeah, but I was like, I mean, he's a good example. A lot of these people, whether you agree with them or not, I know you guys don't, necessarily get along, where you guys are neutral, but it's like, I do start to wonder, like, I don't have any ties to Russell. Even with Tate, like, I kind of think a lot of what he did was reprehensible, but you do start to feel a little bit of a heart for people who are victims of this maybe CIA-led deep state lawfare assassination of character. Like, just because I disagree with you, or I think you've made some immoral choices, or maybe you might be more extreme than me, I feel like we've got to start defending more people. And what we're seeing is that these character assassinations don't work. Like Tate still has his following and is still popular. Fuentes isn't going anywhere, despite what they say about him. Like, I don't know if that whole plan that they had works anymore, because everyone's just like, look, we've heard it all before. If you fight the system, they're going to make accusations. It's all over.
This is my point. When a thought leader in some capacity is killed, then you create a legacy and you immortalize them. This was who was it? Was it Aristotle? Who's the guy who ate the berries?
Yeah.
They were like, pay a fine or die, and he was like, I'll die. Socrates. Yeah. He was like, I'll take immortality. I'll die, and they were like, oh crap.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So my point is, the first thing that needs to happen before anybody jumps to change the law, Congress needs to take action, because that's never going to happen, is, hey, it's already illegal. let's just, enforce the law that we have on the books right now that's been neglected by Republicans for a decade. And then I think we're starting to see that door open.
I understand like the frustration that you're articulating, Elijah. There is a lot of people that are like, look, we want to see these things to happen. We want to see this. But we talked about this, or have spoken about this multiple times on the show. They have to have all of their ducks in a row if they're going to arrest people, because any kind of inconsistency, any way that anybody that gets arrested can possibly produce a mistrial, anything they can do to sway a jury, they're going to do. So they have to have the best case imaginable. So if it takes a little extra time for them to produce the most solid case possible, I'm okay with it.
Do you actually think it will happen, though?
Do I think that it will get people get arrested?
Yeah.
I don't know that I think one way or the other. I mean, I can tell you what I hope for and what I want, but I don't have a whole lot of like strong impulse about I'm going to predict the future. I don't feel like I can do that at all. I do want to see people get arrested. I would love to see a whole boatload of people thrown in jail, but I don't have a sense as to what will happen. Historically, it might not be likely, but I do think that the Trump administration is still a different administration from the first Trump administration, and I think it's definitely the most proactive to try to rein in the bureaucracy of any administration in my lifetime, and I'm effing old.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.